There I was, in the middle of dinner, staring at the man of my literal dreams, and hearing him say the worst possible thing I could have imagined. I'm married. For the first few seconds, I sat there in stunned silence. I must have misheard, right? No way I heard right. What? I said. I'm married, Katie. There it was again. Clear as day, too. That restaurant was quiet. And I hadn't drank any wine, so I couldn't blame that. And I had my hearing checked at my last physical exam 3 months prior. I heard right. Married? I took a deep breath. Then, like any rational human being would do, I picked up my glass of water, took a sip, and then flung the rest in his face. I might have yelled something from an R-rated movie. Maybe the entire restaurant stopped moving and looked at me. Yep, happy birthday to me. How did I get here? Let's backtrack. Dan and I met as if we were part of a rom-com. I was walking to a restaurant to meet my friend for happy hour when I tripped on the stupid uneven sidewalk and almost face-planted. To be fair, I shouldn't have worn those heels. He was walking past and quite literally scooped me up from the ground and helped me stand back up. Embarrassing? Sure. Absolutely romantic and made me feel like I was in a dream? Oh, heck yeah. He was hot and handsome, dressed in a suit to the nines, walking in the same direction that I was. Naturally, I invited him to happy hour with me. He hesitated, I noticed, but he came. And it was all a romantic, loving blur after that. 3 months. We spent the last 3 months together. Dan was a busy guy, big shot lawyer, a lot of cases that were hush-hush with NDAs and other secrets he couldn't talk about because big companies were paying him big money. Or that's what he said anyway. Now I can't really look back and believe anything he said. Maybe he was a dog walker or a circus performer. Who knows? 3 months, we did all the romantic things. He said he traveled a lot for business, for the firm. Sure. He was a big boy, and he had to travel to make the big bucks, to take me to the fancy restaurants and that one weekend away in Napa. I mean, I'm telling you, this guy blew money on me as if a stack cost him 3 pennies. I had never had a rich boyfriend before. I was used to splitting things 50-50 and feeling bad if my guy had to work an extra shift to buy me a nice birthday gift. This was a big upgrade, and I'm not ashamed to say that I freaking loved it. But back to Dan, that lying sack of a son of a gun. 3 months of my life. Smitten, in love even. Love bombing, I would say, because the man sent roses to my job and tulips to my house and even an orchid to my parents for their anniversary. Who does that? Apparently, a lying sack of nothing. Dan, I'm married, Katie. I'm sorry. Can you stop repeating that? I yelled, this time from the front of the restaurant where we had been not so gently escorted to when the manager told us we had to leave. He went on to apologize again, as if that suddenly annulled his marriage or made things okay. The crazy part is he didn't say anything about leaving his wife or giving me excuses as to why he decided to lead me on and act like a single mingling man for the last 12 weeks. Nope, he just said sorry, as if he was sorry for me because I thought this was real, but also not sorry enough to end things if I was down to keep seeing him. The nerve. The rest of the night is a blur. Not a romantic one, but a fury-filled one. I didn't know what to do, so I yelled some more, left him standing outside of the restaurant, and took a cab to my best friend's house. She sat and listened and tried her best to calm me down, but it was hard because I knew she wanted to hunt him down just as badly as I did. Luckily, she's also a research assistant, so she was able to put her work hat on and start digging deep. This man had taken me to his 1-bedroom apartment downtown. We started there. Airbnb. Yep, not his apartment, rented. Then she did a little digging on his LinkedIn. There is no lying on there, and all good lawyers have a LinkedIn. We couldn't find a wife, but we found a brother. Then the brother's Facebook page. Then a family Christmas photo. Ding, ding, ding. Jackpot. Although this jackpot made me puke a little in my mouth. I found wifey. I got a name and an address on property tax records. And I couldn't even hate her because I felt almost as bamboozled as I'm sure she would be. Did I make the 45-minute drive to the cute suburban house where Dan and wifey lived the next morning? Sometimes I wish I didn't, but I did. My bestie stayed in the car. Dan's car wasn't in the driveway, and I knew he would be working. I walked up and knocked on the door. A few minutes later, there she was, a beautiful woman, Dan's beautiful wife. Can I help you? I stood there for what seemed like forever, but was probably 5 seconds in silence. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't get the words out. You've got to be freaking kidding me, she said suddenly. I wasn't expecting that. Before I could respond, she continued. Another one? Why do you all have to have such a deep conscience? None of my guys show up to Dan's job or our house and try to make him see the light. Listen, thank you for whatever it was that you were going to say to me. My life is just fine. So long as your business stays downtown, I don't really care. Don't come back here again or I'll call the cops. Boom, door shut. Not even one word out of my mouth. I'm pretty sure my mouth was literally open. It took me days to process that interaction. I mean, did I learn a lesson? I can't say that I did. I didn't see any red flags, I didn't suspect anything, and I've never seen a relationship like that. Maybe I did learn something. I learned that sometimes crappy things happen and that crappy people tend to end up being crappy together. Since I'm not crappy, good riddance, Stan. You and your wife deserve each other. And that's why rom-coms are unrealistic. Next time you trip, just pick yourself up and keep moving. Trust me. Oh, and ask to see a utility bill when a guy shows you his place.